Hi everybody, it's Josh. I'm here with an impromptu, unscripted video where I want to talk about something a little bit embarrassing, but perhaps important and perhaps helpful to some of you who are watching. As I have mentioned recently, I am aggressively seeking employment. I have had a day job for 25 years at a private institution, and that job is going away. The institution is closing, sadly, and I need to look for work. And it's a very strange place. I'm pushing 50. I've been working, in this job for so long, and I was just getting to the point where I can see that horizon. I can see retirement. Yeah, I'm not retirement age, but I could see it. I feel like on the timeline, I'm actually for the first time realizing that I'm closer to the end of a career than I am to the beginning. And then suddenly to lose my situation is unfortunate, but it happens. I'll be fine. I'll bounce back. But I have a cautionary tale for you because I am being an extremely online person. I have been using online methods to look for a job. Things like ZipRecruiter and Indeed and LinkedIn, and I am submitting sometimes dozens of applications a day looking for work. So now in hindsight, I should have been cautious, I should have been careful, I should have been more discerning. But again, I'm putting out so many applications a day that I saw an email which looked for all the world like it was a bite on an application that I had sent that day or a previous day or the week before. Most of the applications you submit online are ignored. I've gotten out of dozens and dozens of maybe over 100 applications submitted at this point. I have received exactly 5 rejections, personalized rejections. No interviews, no positive bites. And this email and text that came through on this day looked like a bite, which I assumed was from one of the applications I had sent. This was an individual who I now know in hindsight was spoofing, posing as a representative of a pharmaceutical company. I am not going to name the pharmaceutical company because it's not fair that this was done to them and I don't want to drag their name down. And Josh, why are you applying to a pharmaceutical company? Well, I actually didn't. I realize now in hindsight, but this is the point in the job search where I am. I will take data entry, proofreading, whatever a detail-oriented, educated, intelligent person can do, even in an interim period, to make some money while I look for that dream job, being a weirdo on YouTube or drawing comics or whatever it's going to be. So I received what I thought was a bite, inviting me to an interview on Ring Central. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically just like an online phone video chat and text chat platform. We actually use it at the job I'm losing. And so I responded great, and I went on and I dressed nicely and I prepared myself for what I assumed would be a video interview. And then it turned out to be a chat interview, a text interview. In hindsight, again, this should have been another red flag. The first red flag was just I didn't apply for this job. That's on me that I didn't even realize that. And then there were some documents they sent me describing the role, which were a little bit janky. Like the PDFs they sent me had some typos and some when I thought, oh my goodness, is this just, I looked it up, it's a small company. Now, mind you, I'm looking up the real company and the people that are contacting me are not actually affiliated with this real company in any way. And I thought, well, maybe I can point some of these things out and my attention to detail will be demonstrated in this interview. So I interviewed over text. I know that's insane in hindsight. It seemed to go well. Of course it did. And then this grift is insane because it's multi-day. Most scams involve you click on an email or somebody calls you and says they're from the IRS or something, and they're trying, and this grift happens over the course of a phone conversation. This was a multi-day event where there was a discussion through text, and then there was the scheduling of an interview the next day, and then there was a 48-hour wait to find out that I got the job, and I got an offer letter, and I signed it and returned it, and it was great, and then stay tuned for your instructions, and the onboarding process will begin. And long story short, there were a few more conversations, but where I finally wised up, where I finally woke up, and I don't like what I'm telling you about me and how thoughtless and careless I can apparently be. I'm the guy who's always, telling my parents, no, this is a scam, don't do this, or helping out other people sniff out scams. The fact that I got taken in by this just shows you how beaten down and desperate I am from this job hunt, but also just the lengths people are willing to go to do this. So here's where the red flag finally, I finally noticed one. They informed me that because this is a 100% remote data entry job, I would need to purchase some equipment for the job, and that they were going to issue me a check to make a mobile deposit into they were specific about it being a mobile deposit. And then I was going to use one of a specific list of payment, Zelle or a Visa gift card or some way to buy my equipment from a specific vendor. Of course, that's how the grift works. And I have to tell you, friends, that I snapped out of it only after I had actually made the deposit. So I made a mobile deposit on my phone, and I was like, oh, look how easy this is. I do online banking all the time, but I had never made a deposit through my phone before. So I was like, wow, amazing. But that was when I said, wait a minute. It's kind of weird, isn't it? That this is like, even if they want me to use special equipment, just send it to me. They should buy it. Why are they? And I thought, oh, maybe they want me to buy it, so then I'll own it. And then, I'm still thinking and then it was like, no, wait. So a quick Google search just of a one sentence description of what was happening took me to the FTC government website and a description of the exact grift that I was experiencing, this exact scam laid out. There are different versions of it. I think the more popular one is that they ask you to shell out the money to buy the equipment, and then they reimburse you with a bad check. This one was different because they actually gave me a check. It was a totally janky looking check. And the funds went through. Now, I was on the phone with my bank's fraud hotline, within time, so that they nipped it in the bud. But it looked like it was going to go through. Maybe it was going to bounce later. I don't know there's another version of it, I guess, where they give you the money, but then they tell you that there's a balance and that you owe money, and then they keep, and then they get nasty or whatever. I don't know. I figured it out in time. I told them I reported them to the FTC and that I talked to my bank and I stopped the check and I said, don't contact me, and I haven't heard from them again. I'm also reporting the possibility of the identity theft and all of that. I feel like an idiot. I feel like this is on me. It's my personality that I feel like I deserve bad things that happen to me. So I'm like, I'm such an idiot, especially since this is the kind of thing I'm not supposed to fall for. But also when I step back and think about it, how evil are people? How messed up is our society? How emboldening is the online anonymity to these jackwads that they would go through a multi-day. They sent me a letter of offer for employment. They let me think, this is not a dream job. I wasn't doing cartwheels. I thought I was getting an hourly data entry job to get some money for a few months while I look for a better job. It's not like that. But I still was getting freaked out, as I now am all over again, that I'm going to have to go on unemployment, or that there's going to be an interruption in my income. And here I thought, I have a situation. At least it's not ideal, but I have a situation. And they let me think that for days. They toyed with me. They interviewed. They went through this entire thing, and they're probably doing it to someone else right now. I did share their details. I gave a copy of the check to anybody who would look at it. I don't have high hopes that these specific people are going to get arrested and carted away. But please be careful if you're looking for a job. My parents are they're very old school, and they're cautious. They won't even shop online. And when they hear things like this, they're probably like, well, that's why. I still think you can take advantage of modern convenience. Just be cautious, be careful, learn to sniff out things. Obviously, I'm going to be a lot more careful. I'm going to make sure that any conversations I have with potential employers are in response to a specific application that I submitted, all of that stuff. Be smart, be wise. And hey, also, you can support me over on Patreon or on my coffee site or buying stuff from my Etsy shop. I'll put some links below and all of that stuff. You can even hire me to draw portraits, caricatures, comics, storyboards. I'll make a website for you. I do a lot of things. You can just reach out to me here or go to joshua.com to see my portfolio, and there's a contact form on there. And I thank you for your time. look, I don't know what you think of me after this, but I'm doing my best, and I'm gonna do better. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again really soon. Josh out.